Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we break down the big issues in politics today. And today we're taking a look at a huge gap between what politicians say and what they actually do. We're talking about Sir Keir Starmer, who's been all about wealth creation and cutting red tape. But surprise, surprise, his actions tell a very different story. Let's get into the details and why this might just be fueling the public's disillusionment with politics. So here's the headline. Keir Starmer loves to talk about supporting business, ripping out bureaucracy, and making life easier for entrepreneurs. Just this week, at the International Investment Summit in London, he was talking about cutting red tape and being a champion of wealth creation. Sounds great, right? But let's look at what's actually happening behind the scenes. While Starmer is talking up business, his Chancellor Rachel Reeves is planning some of the biggest tax increases in British history, potentially up to £35 billion in new taxes. We're talking about raids on pension pots, higher capital gains tax, and even hikes in national insurance for employers. That's not exactly what you call pro-business, is it? These new taxes are a direct hit on job creation. Add to that Labour's plan for a new Charter of Workers' Rights, which includes more strike powers for unions, more employee protections, and even more generous entitlements for flexible working, sick pay, and parental leave. Now, don't get me wrong, workers' rights matter, but when you pile all this on small and medium-sized businesses, it could crush them. Leading businessman Hugh Osmond called Labour's plan an existential threat to small businesses. He says if Labour keeps pushing policies like this, we'll see higher unemployment and lower productivity. According to the British Chambers of Commerce, the number of businesses trying to hire is already at its lowest level since the pandemic. That's a red flag if you ask me. Now let's talk about bureaucracy. Starmer says he's all about cutting through it, but what's actually happening? Well, his government seems to be in love with creating more of it. We've got plans for a new Skills England agency, a great British energy company, a great British railway company, and a list of other new quangos and bureaucratic organizations like an Armed Forces Commissioner, a National Wealth Fund, and even something called the Office of Value for Money. The irony is real. It's like Starmer is pouring industrial-strength fertilizer on the red tape he says he wants to cut. This isn't new for Labour. Remember back in 2010 when Harriet Harman pushed through the Equality Act? She talked about shining a spotlight on every workplace to create a new social order. What we got was a lot of bureaucratic intervention, diversity audits, racial monitoring, and public sector contracts that force businesses to follow these new rules or be shut out. It's heavy-handed policies like these that hurt businesses, not help them. And let's not forget Ed Miliband's net zero agenda. Pushing for green energy is important, but it's driving up energy bills and making it harder for companies to stay competitive. Here's the real issue. Most of Labour's leadership hasn't run businesses or been part of the private sector. They come from the unions, pressure groups, and the public sector. It's easy to talk about wealth creation when you've never had to build a business yourself. Starmer says he wants to support entrepreneurs, but in reality, he's setting up a system where the state bullies wealth creators instead of helping them. Massive tax hikes, endless regulations, and an obsession with bureaucracy. That's not how you foster a thriving economy. That's how you suffocate it. So what do you think? Is Labour really pro-business, or are they just talking the talk while pushing policies that make it harder for businesses to survive? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more political breakdowns like this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.